I've ran through and tightened most of the bolts up, because a lot of the things on this was loose. Some of the bolts in the centre of the wheels, some of the bolts that actually hold the discs on. One of the other things that I've noticed is the headset on this was just obscene. So I thought I'd do a quick video while you guys watching have seen if we can find this problem and what's causing it. So I'm not going to hold fire, let's get straight in there.
Well, Singers, your carriages have arrived. Feeling good, looking good, let's bring it on. First to the door, it's Paul's new BFF, Ryan. First thing I noticed, night 3, yet again, another fantastic pair of shoes. Well, actually, our Salvo Road movement. Ryan's looking terribly good. Clothes on again. Same clothes, man, good. That's the thing. And he's going again today. Old Gary Paul. Next in, and with a swish of his scarf, it's Neil.
Okay, so what they've actually done, this is going to take me a little bit longer, but they've put the nut on the wrong way around. If you look at the top of the nut there, you can see it's got a taper on it. If that doesn't sit into the bearing itself, it's still going to leave that much play on it. So what I'm going to have to do is remove the brake caliper, because I don't think there's going to be enough on this cable in here. Maybe if I drop this down a little bit more, take that inside, let's see if I can get these handlebars off. I think that brake caliper is going to restrict the amount of movement there. It actually seems okay, but I can't imagine these forks being... That's it, she's off. So, as you can see, running through this, as I was saying, this is why I like to get inside these things and check them out. You know, obviously if that's the wrong way around, the taper on there is going to be a waste of time. This should literally just centre the fork stem into the top of that bearing case there. Right, just get some grips and give that a little bit of winky. Seems like it just seated into the bearing itself yet, and that now, oh, that's beautiful. Little bits like this is just going to damage it if it's not right. Don't go over tight on it. You can normally feel when you turn the bearings. I'll do a notch just before that little clip. That's it. Oh, that's beautiful. That's spot on. I would normally put a little bit of Loctite on there, but because this is brand new, I'm going to wait until I've done a few miles on it. This will all bed in. I can come back, retighten that down again, but when I do that the second time round, I'll put a little bit of Loctite in there just to make sure it can't move. The nut can't come undone, but... Oh. There we go. Put the cover back on for a starter. So, that's all fine there. That's fine there. What I've also done is just position this collar slightly offside, because it looked like it was going to bind with the cables. Seated on that fork, so if I just raise these bars up slightly, get that back out of the way. Still gives me plenty of room. That sits in the centre of that. Put this piece back together again. That would have driven me insane, that waddling on the headset. I'm pretty sure it'd do the same for everybody else. As I was saying, there's so many bits on these that you need to just double check. Also, the rear stop and tail light seems to point straight up into the air. So what I'm going to do is literally just cut a piece of aluminium angle bracket and just position that up so it's actually visible from the back. Half the fun with these things is tinkering about with them. So right, that's that anyway, that's all back together. Now I'm going to end the video there because I'm going to reposition realign the handlebars and the seat, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to look at my backside. Last thing that I noticed on here, when the back wheel's spinning, the brake caliper itself is actually too high on the disc, so it's only contacting with half of the actual brake disc itself. So it looks like they've put the actual packers on the caliper wrong. So they put the smaller packers at the top and the larger ones at the bottom, but that one's swapping round. So what I'm going to do is just take that to pieces and see if I can get it to actually contact the rest of the pad, rest of the disc. Right, so I'm just literally going to remove this. As I do this though, there's a couple of other things that I just wanted to mention. As I said, I've had a few electric bikes. I think I've built, what, half a dozen now? 6 or so? When plugging the charger in to charge up the batteries, it's always good to remember to plug the charger into the outlet, the power outlet first. If you don't, you're going to get an arc from the battery and you risk burning out the contacts in the charger. So it's always best, literally, plug it into the power outlet first, then plug it into the scooter. What else that I wanted to mention is this has come with quite a small charger. It's got a 21 amp hour battery and the charger charges at 2 amps. So the easiest way to work out what your charge time is going to be on these things is, if you've got 21 amp battery and a 2 amp charger, is divide the 21 by 2. So that's going to give you 10.5 hours really to get that battery from dead. I know that most people are not going to run it all the way down, but it's just an easy math to work out. Doesn't look like this is going to work how I hoped it to. I'm not really used to these crappy cable driven brakes. That's it. That should hopefully drop that down. I'll take this washer off. Come on. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this. I don't know if you can see it from there, but that pad is literally halfway onto the disc. So what's going to happen there is it's going to lose half of its braking capacity, but also it's going to allow the top half of the pad to squeeze in considerably more, which is just going to knock down the performance of the brakes. So I'm hoping once this is removed, I can drop that straight onto there and it's not going to interfere with anything else. I've obviously done a good job of Loctiting these because it doesn't want to come out. The normal Allen keys that I'd normally use for this job we've got up on the Jeep that we've been modifying at the minute. So I'm kind of stuck with these crappy Allen keys. Okay. So I've literally just moved the packers from underneath the actual caliper just onto the top side of the bolts. The only reason I put those on there is because the bolts are obviously that length and I don't want it protruding through the bottom. So we've gone again with that, but this does look like it should now actually get the hold of the disc. Once I get this back in position and realigned, it's not like doing the hydraulic ones. The hydraulic ones normally you just literally slacken these 2 bolts off, squeeze the brake, and that'll position the disc central. But with these being these crappy cabin driven ones, they obviously don't work like normal calipers. But yeah, that's definitely better. I'm just going to line these up and We do that by just shining the light down the back of it, so that's the one. It's totally not binding, but I'll get now the whole efficiency opposed to just wearing out half the pad. It's just slightly binding. Just going to have to work that slightly loose again. Yeah, I hope you're finding these videos interesting. I know when I looked online for this brand of scooter, there was literally only the promotional videos from Yume, however you want to pronounce it. So nothing that's going into depth about the scooter or the problems that might arise when you first get one.
And any
So,
comments are welcome.
Definitely, yeah. That's better, the brake's not binding at all. And I can see now that's positioned, so those brake pads are literally going to bind against the whole of the disc. Because it's not right if only half of that pad's contacting half of the disc. You can see it there, but it was just literally halfway down that disc. So there has been a lot gone into this. It's took me a few hours each day in all fairness, so it is getting now to the point where I'd be willing to take it out and do the kind of speeds that this thing would do. It's not something you just want to take out of the box, put the battery on charge and take it out. Well, it wouldn't have even worked anyway with those wires disconnected that should have been connected. So if you like our videos, please give us a like and share.
And subscribe.
Yeah, any comments are welcome.